I used to think motherhood just felt this way: exhausting, repetitive, overwhelming. But it wasn't motherhood, it was my brain. I wasn't burnt out. I was actually in survival mode. And once I figured that out, I finally started enjoying my days again. So let's talk about the difference between burnout and survival mode, why it happens in your brain, and how a dopamine reset can help you get your motivation back, which is what every mom wants, right? Moms today are carrying way more noise, way more pressure, and more comparison than any generation before us. Our brains were not designed to process constant stimulation from phones and endless to-do lists and the mental load of running a home. So, when you feel stuck in survival mode, it's not just hard, it actually steals your joy and your patience and your ability to be present with the people you love the most. And that's why learning how your brain really works and how to reset it is such a game changer. I'm Cassie. I am a certified life coach with a degree in human development, and I have been a stay-at-home mom for 13 years. I have 3 kids. I know firsthand what it feels like to wake up already feeling exhausted and wonder if this really is what motherhood is supposed to be. But I've also seen in my own life and with so many moms that I've coached that it doesn't have to stay that way. That's why I'm so passionate about sharing tools like this dopamine reset, because they really help you move from survival mode to a motherhood that you actually really enjoy. And that spills into your children and everything you do in your life. So let's start with this: burnout versus survival mode. If you don't know whether you're burnt out or just stuck in survival mode, you'll keep blaming yourself instead of fixing the real problem. I personally know what burnout feels like, and it's as real as running out of laundry soap. If it's gone, it's gone. Every last drop has been used up, and there is nothing you can do about it. Burnout is depletion. You have run out of resources. So this hit me a few years ago in a very big way when I almost ended up in the emergency room. I had stroke level high blood pressure, and really there was no option to carry on as I had been for the previous decade or so. Survival mode, on the other hand, is shut down. Your brain is conserving what little you have left by keeping you on autopilot. Have you ever felt that before? You're doing everything, but feeling nothing. Just kind of going through the motions, hoping that bedtime gets here a little bit faster. I remember seasons where I thought I was burnt out, like I had put that label on it, but really I was just in survival mode. I would be, let's say, staring at a pile of clean laundry on the couch. Technically, the job wasn't undone. I did the laundry, but I was doing the bare minimum, putting it off, usually not even completely finishing the tasks. Unlike the burnout that I hit where I needed to stop doing laundry altogether for a period of time while I recovered, I was still doing the laundry in survival mode, just not fully. Burnout and survival mode are both exhausting, but they're not quite the same. And knowing the difference matters because survival mode is actually your brain's attempt to protect you before you crash into full burnout. Survival mode really is like, let's compare it to a generator, right? There's an emergency, you have this generator, it's designed to kick on when life gets really overwhelming so that you can keep things running at the bare minimum. It's not bad, it's protective. Think newborn stage, or really severe illness, or a move, or family emergencies. Survival mode has its place, but that generator isn't meant to stay on all the time. It's meant to, maybe keep the lights on for a while, but it's not a sustainable way to fully live life. So let me be frank, you were never meant to stay in survival mode long term. So here's what you really need to know. Your brain is running on something called the motivational triad. And once you understand that natural wiring, you can stop fighting against yourself. For so many years, I thought I just needed to be more disciplined. I would tell myself, tomorrow I'll wake up really early and get on top of things, tackle the chores, be patient. But then tomorrow came and I would grab my phone instead of folding the laundry. I wasn't broken, I was just human. My brain was doing exactly what it was designed to do. and I'm sure you can relate. Maybe you're saying tomorrow it'll be better, but tomorrow never seems to feel any different. So the motivational triad are the three things that your brain is motivated to do: seek pleasure, avoid pain, and conserve energy. Back in the wild, that kept people alive, but in motherhood today, it means your brain tells you things like grab the snack, don't face the tantrum, put off the dishes until later. It really isn't laziness, it's just the wiring in your brain. Nonetheless, it's wiring that will absolutely keep you stuck in survival mode. So let's talk about the chemical messenger that fuels this whole system, which is dopamine. If you don't get a handle on dopamine, it will keep hijacking your motivation and rewarding the wrong things. I cannot tell you how many afternoons I would finally get a quiet moment, right? The kids were all playing peacefully together, the house felt calm, and instead of tackling the dishes that were piled up in the sink, I would sit down and scroll Pinterest, right? It felt easier in the moment, but the mess was still there waiting for me, only contributing to my overwhelm. And then at night, let's say, when I was completely drained and done for the day, I would collapse on the couch and tell myself I was resting, but really I was just scrolling Pinterest. Again, I loved Pinterest. The crazy part is that it never actually filled me up. I would still feel guilty. I would still feel unmotivated. And have you noticed that about scrolling? It's not necessarily laziness. It's just dopamine. The dopamine system is rewarding the quick hit instead of the meaningful choice. So once I understood that, I could stop beating myself up and start seeing what my brain was really doing. Dopamine does not reward what's good for you. It rewards what's easy and immediate. And that's why scrolling and grabbing chocolate feels so doable, while deeper things like connecting with your kids or creating a peaceful home or even folding the laundry feel so much harder. It's not that you don't care, it's just that your brain is wired to chase the fastest reward. Just by default, it's going to do that. The good news, dopamine is not the enemy. It's actually trainable, and that's where a reset comes in. Because if you don't reset your brain's reward system, survival mode will just keep being your default. I hustled harder and crashed faster. What finally helped me was learning to reset my dopamine, training my brain to actually crave the things that actually matter to me as a mom. Peace in my home, connection with my kids, confidence in myself. When I stopped rewarding only the quick escapes, I finally felt motivated again. A dopamine reset does not mean quitting everything fun or forcing yourself into this perfect, rigid routine. It just means gently retraining your brain so it finds satisfaction in the really meaningful stuff, not just the quick hits. So when I first heard about the Pomodoro technique, 25 minutes of focus, 5 minutes of rest, I thought there's no way that'll work for me as a mom. My kids interrupt me, the house is chaos, I never get a full stretch of time. But here's what surprised me. Even just one Pomodoro, done imperfectly nonetheless, gave me more momentum than trying to force myself to power through an entire day. It taught my brain to link motivation with progress and real rest, not just scrolling or numbing out. I heard somebody talking about this method, and that's how it came into my knowledge. She was highly recommending it for ADHD moms, but it's so relevant to all of us because of the world we live in. Our brains have been retrained to look for that quick dopamine. And so the Pomodoro method works because dopamine thrives on short focus with guaranteed reward. So when you tell your brain, it's just 25 minutes and then I'll get a break, it feels very doable. And that 5-minute break becomes a very healthy dopamine hit, one that actually recharges you instead of draining you, which scrolling usually does. So I want to rapid fire some ways that you could start implementing this today because it's really easy. Let's talk dishes. Set the timer for 25 minutes, tackle the sink, load the dishwasher, and then reward yourself 5 minutes sitting down with your favorite drink. Laundry. Fold for 25 minutes, then step outside barefoot for 5 minutes of fresh air. What about decluttering? 25 minutes in one closet, and then 5 minutes stretching or playing a quick game with your kids if that's something you enjoy. Let's talk about work or projects. 25 minutes on a project. You're not going to finish the whole thing, just 25 minutes, and then 5 minutes listening to your favorite song or sending a text to a friend. What about mental load tasks? 25 minutes of meal planning or bill paying, and then 5 minutes of journaling or prayer or reading scripture. Now, I know exactly what your brain is telling you right now. So let's just go ahead and crush some of those objections that it's offering you right this very second about why this won't work for you, because it wants to stay stuck. What about my kids will interrupt me? Yes, they will. Okay? Yes, they will. That is pretty much a guarantee. So let's just face that head on and expect it. And it's totally okay that they interrupt you. Your 25 minutes can get broken up into chunks, or you can rope them into it. What about the dishes? What if all of you stood at the sink for 25 minutes and you just let them know? 25 minutes of focus. If you decide you don't want to focus, go play. It can be an option. They can either help you or they just know you are laser focused, and really pretty much nothing is going to break that concentration. Remember, you're just retraining your brain that you're focused. And even if it gets interrupted, you can just pick it back up where you left off. Okay, what about the whole, I don't even have 25 minutes? Make it 10. The point isn't the number, it's the rhythm of focus plus reward. What about the whole thought that we all have, I couldn't get anything done in 25 minutes? So you're not trying to finish something, you're just trying to start something. You're trying to rewire your brain, get into this new rhythm and habit. Progress builds momentum, and that momentum builds motivation. What about if you're telling yourself, I'll just waste the break scrolling? So you have to choose your breaks ahead of time. This is probably the easiest trap to fall into, because you're so proud I did the 25 minutes, but then you do just get sucked into the scrolling. So dopamine menus seem to be trending right now, so I'm sure there are a ton of ideas out there. You just need to stick with options that actually recharge you. Stepping outside, breathing deeply, stretching, enjoying a snack without guilt. Any of those are good options. So if you have been stuck in survival mode, here is your reset. Stop trying to power through the whole mountain of a day and just teach your brain to love the rhythm of focus and rest. And over time, it'll start craving progress and peace instead of only those quick escapes. Remember, survival mode is not a character flaw. It's just wiring. And once you learn to reset that wiring, motherhood doesn't just feel so heavy and repetitive anymore. It actually feels lighter and joyful. And it's never too late. So I have a free masterclass coming soon where I'll walk you through how to build a motherhood that actually feels confident and peaceful without you needing to do more or be someone that you're not. Make sure you're on my email list so that you don't miss it. You can grab my free ebook down in the description and you will get on that list. You're doing amazing, and I'll see you soon.